Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So a couple of days ago, I read a very disturbing story out of Barstow, California, about the killing of a young African-American man by the name of Diante Yarber. This brother was shot over a dozen times. The police fired 30 shots into his vehicle, killing him and injuring two others. These two others were critically injured. One was shot in the abdomen and in the leg, and they had to be rushed to the hospital. Now, the police claimed that they were responding to a call about a suspicious vehicle in Walmart's parking lot. It was a group of people in this vehicle, and according to the family attorney, those young people were waiting for another passenger to return from Walmart after purchasing something. So they were waiting for this person to return, and in the meantime, someone calls the police about a suspicious vehicle. And we know that in this society, unfortunately, black skin is viewed as inherently suspicious. Black people are viewed as dangerous and as criminals. So when people see a group of black people in the car, unfortunately, some will assume that they are up to no good. They're engaged in some kind of criminal activity. That's what people assume. So someone called the police. And as a sister was telling me last night, often a police call is a death sentence for black men. And that's what happened here. You know, someone called the police based on their own prejudice and bias. And because of that, we have a young brother dead and two other people critically injured. Now, the police claim that they were attempting to do a traffic stop. They claim that Diante Yarber suddenly reversed his vehicle and struck one of the patrol cars and accelerated again towards officers. And they claim that he was wanted for questioning about a stolen vehicle. Now, they claim that he rammed a patrol car, but yet the images of his vehicle don't show any damage to the vehicle. So that contradicts this story about him ramming a patrol car. Also, the family attorney points out how the police were not in the path of the vehicle, despite these claims that he was trying to essentially run over the police. The police were not in the path of the vehicle. And so far, the police have not released any dash cam footage or body cam footage or any of that stuff. You would think that that would be the first thing that they would do to exonerate these officers, if in fact their story is true. That's what they would do. They would show the images. They would show the video to prove that this brother tried to ram the car, to prove that he tried to run over the police. Then it would be an open and shut case. The question is, why haven't they released this footage? Why haven't they done so? Because that would be the end of the controversy. That would resolve it. But I have suspicions about this. And we know that you can't trust police. You can't trust their word. Their word means nothing. We saw how they concocted a story about Walter Scott. You all remember that, how they tried to say that he posed some kind of threat, and then it turns out that he was butchered, that he was lynched, shot from behind multiple times as he was running away from the police unarmed, not posing a threat at all to the police. We know how these things go. We know about Laquan McDonald and Chicago, how they said that he was approaching the police with a weapon when he was actually moving away from the police, walking away from the police. When they shot and killed that brother in the streets of Chicago, we know how these police tell stories, how these police lie. Just like they lied about Stephon Clark. They said that he was approaching them in a threatening kind of way, when in fact he was shot in the back 6 times by the police. We know the police track record, and we can't believe a word that they say. We need to see the footage. Release the dash cam footage. Release the body cam footage if you have body cam footage. These police showed a complete disregard towards human life. Here, this event took place at 10 a.m. in the morning. You know, when you had a crowded parking lot, In one of the videos, you see a woman at her car while this shooting is going on. Innocent people could have been killed. An innocent person was killed, Diante Yarber. But others could have been killed as well. Children minding their own business could have been killed in this crossfire. They could have been killed. You know, these police showed a complete disregard towards human life. And they violated their own policy according to these reports. You know, there's a police policy against firing into moving vehicles because of the threat posed in those kind of situations. But yet these police fired into a moving vehicle that was full of people. That shows that they had no regard towards those people in the vehicle, no regard to the people in the parking lot, and just no regard for Black lives, period. And we know that this is something that has been talked about for a long time, how these police have no respect for Black people. They don't view our lives as valuable. Our lives mean nothing to these people. And in exchange for killing Black people, these police, these pigs, get a paid vacation on the people's dime. And it's outrageous. So, you know, the family has an attorney, and I'm sure that they're going to bring a civil action against these police. But it's time for a serious investigation of this incident. And it's time for charges to be filed against these murderers for killing this brother. You know, how long will this stuff continue before we finally stand up? How long will it continue before we finally say enough is enough? How many more Walter Scotts will there be? How many more Sam Dubose will there be? How many more Stephon Clarks will there be before we finally say enough is enough and do something about it? You know, you had the Nation of Islam say, justice or else. Where is the or else? If it's not the Nation of Islam, it needs to be us. We need to be the ones to do something about this situation. So tell me what y'all think. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Peace.